Well, Kim's here, so that's all that matters. Sorry if it's wobbly. I don't have a tripod.
It's in the car.
It's somewhere in the car. I just don't know where. Actually, two of them. Yeah, it is really windy, isn't it, Stephanie? It's very windy here too. All right, so there we both are. There. See?
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hey. Like,
get out of here. Oh my goodness. Okay, good. People came because YouTube had it all messed up and said we were on at 1 because they had the wrong time zone. I don't know what's happening here.
good morning.
Good morning. Can you? Oh yeah, you can read from a distance. You can read all those comments.
I'm pretty smart. I can read.
Andy's here. Andy, your work wife is here.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She is awesome. So we did make it home safely, with minimal problems. We didn't argue with each other, which is fantastic. The car made it. No speeding tickets. Way to go.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Well, because you were collecting them in different states.
Yeah.
So I was really glad you didn't get any there or back.
Yeah, Ohio and Georgia.
And Georgia. I mean, you're starting a small collection, but you're doing pretty good. No, we did not get a good night's sleep. Eric had an appointment this morning that he forgot about, that he thought he canceled, so we had to get up early. I woke up at 5:30 and then slept until 6. That was still too early because we didn't get. I don't think we went to bed till like 10:30. I think. Whoa. Oh. We don't have a tripod because it's somewhere in the car, both of them. Because I should have left one here. So if it moves at all, I'm so sorry, but there's not a lot I can do about it, unfortunately. So
we made it all the way from Puyallup, Washington.
Puyallup.
Oh, Puyallup.
Eric likes to call it Puyallup.
Puyallup?
Didn't you hear someone say that?
Yeah, I heard someone say Puyallup.
He just keeps saying Puyallup. So anyway, it's not. It's Puyallup. We do know the correct one, so don't yell at us. We do know how to say it. So, yeah, I made Eric do YouTube with me this morning because he made me get up and take a ride with him, and I didn't really want to. So I said yes. Yeah, really, Andy, it's really funny. I mean, I understand it's a hard name, but also, like, if you Wikipedia the name, there's like a button that you can press and it'll play it, but whatever. So, okay. I'm going to try to look here because when I look there, I'm not paying attention to you. So,
yes.
Roxy and Zoe missed us both. My mom took such good care of them, and she cleaned our apartment, which was really nice and unexpected. She mopped floors, which I haven't done in a while. It's cleaner than when we left it. She did laundry. She was so great. And the dogs claim that they didn't get fed, but we know that that's a lie. So, hi, baby. All right. So, we're going to chat about Sew Expo and what happened, what we thought, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, she will come dog sit for you. It was really Roxy. So, yeah, so this was our first time. So we're just going to kind of talk about, and I don't even really know like what you want to put in because you look at things differently as the driver, but also as the guy that handles the money and does different things. So we're going to talk a little bit about the show and kind of what our thoughts are for the future. And yeah, and just kind of go through it. I would love to do a show and tell of all the things that I bought, but I didn't buy anything. I didn't buy a single thing. I did buy perfume in Target, but that was different. I did not buy any fabric. I didn't buy any vinyl. I went to Lauren's booth and bought nothing, which is surprising. She did give me some stuff before we left, but it's in the car. So
I tried to sell her own cork back.
Did you?
Yeah.
She was like, no, thank you.
She's like, that's horrible looking.
She was like, I don't want that. No,
yeah.
She did not say that. Speaking of her cork is in stock. I have not updated the website. I haven't done anything since we've been home because I've been trying to sleep and that has not worked. So we have a ton of cork on order, and maybe Eric will tell us a little bit at the end about things that he's planning, and I'll tell you what we have on order. So our little backstory on Sew Expo, we just got back literally yesterday from Puyallup, Washington, which is close to Seattle-ish. It's the closest airport. Our dogs are here, so that's what we're scratching their necks right now. So we I decided that it would be a really great idea to drive because Eric has never driven cross country. I still don't think he cares that much that he drove cross country.
No, I think it's an experience of East Coast, West Coast. I think
Very different.
yeah.
Scenic.
Once you get
Yeah.
into Kansas, it's they say they're rolling hills, but they're real. Well, they're
Well, I
plains.
said they're flat.
Yeah,
You said
I
they're
said
rolling
they're
hills.
kind of more rolling hills. Going out there with the wind coming at you, driving.
Yeah, the wind was a nightmare.
Yeah,
for
it was
sure.
probably the car would never get into like top gear to get in best fuel mileage. So we were getting about 10 miles a gallon going out for about 2,200 miles, which is it is what it is. I mean, back in the day, we never had overdrive and all that stuff, but I won't complain about the experience because the Rocky Mountains
They're
is
beautiful.
unbelievable.
Yes.
I mean, they're just in awe, The only other thing would be definitely drive during the day. That would have been horrible
that
to
would have
drive
been
at
awful.
night to do that because I like driving at night so I can evade the popo.
You're talking about. So anyway, let's rewind for a second because you're probably like that went into a car direction. So Lauren visited this show, and I believe I'm correct. She'll correct me if I'm wrong. Lauren visited this show, I want to say 2 years ago, and was like, let's do it. And so Lauren went last year, 2024, sweet girl, and I did not. So we were kind of comparing notes. I was at a different show, and she was in Washington, and we were comparing notes, and it sounded like her show was better. So I was like, hey, Eric, what do you think about going to Washington? And I think his first response was, sure. And then when he asked when, he was like, February. You want to drive through like the snowy areas of February? And then he figured out that it was going to happen anyway, and it wasn't really a question. So Lauren and I were talking, and like logistically, the only thing that was kind of a hang up for her was her trailer, because it's not always an easy thing to tow a trailer. And when you have people that you need working and all that kind of stuff. So Eric agreed that he would pull the trailer for her. So we went to, please don't touch that. Thank you. You're touching it. Okay. We went to Washington via Illinois, which is not the normal way for most people, but we did it anyway. So we ended up leaving Wednesday. We left a day early because Eric was done sleeping, and he just said, I'm done. Let's go. You're making the angry face. Smile more. So, so we got in the car. We got the last of Lauren's stuff packed up. She was pretty much ready for us. And then we got on the road Friday morning because I saw you guys that Friday. I went live with Lauren. And then Eric and I drove a lot. There was a huge accident in Kansas that gave us like a 2-hour delay. So that was fun. But yes, the Rocky Mountains with a trailer, challenging. The view, amazing. There was one point where I saw buffalo, like was staring at them and did not take a picture because I couldn't believe they were real. And I said to him, are those real? Because Buffalo, New York has fake buffalo statues at the exit. And I was I wasn't there. I was like, are those real buffalo? And as I realized we had already passed them. Roxy's now going to give Eric a bath. So that was the way out. We got out there, and really putting everything together and getting the show set up really went off without a hitch. It was, I mean, probably one of our longer setups because we were not in a rush. Roxy, she likes to eat boogers. We were not in any rush. We just kind of wanted to like take our time, and we were just making everything as perfect as we wanted it to. Lauren's booth and my booth were right next to each other. We had basically an entire row. And also in that row was Clum House, and then another purse vendor. It was like Purse Alley. And that was something that Lauren had talked about before. That was like, how fun would it be if we kind of were all there together, like all the bag makers. It wasn't something we really intended, but it happened that way. And just having like Ellie from Clum House and other bag people, it was kind of cool. And the second one's here. So, so that was exciting. I did have 2 classes. Everybody, so it was myself, Lauren, Brittany from the Emporium, Nicole from Sonar, Kathy from Cadle Handmade. I feel like I'm forgetting someone, other friends and volunteers that were there helping, Lena and Kim. And so we all had a bunch of classes. Myself, I had 2 classes. Lauren had 4. I think everybody kind of had like a different, I think Nicole had 4. We just kind of all did our own thing. It was really awesome. The people in our rooms, in our teaching rooms, were amazing. They were super helpful. Everything just was really great. And then we got to meet people. We got to meet Rhonda and Brittany, another Brittany. We drove through O'Fallon, Missouri, and waved to Kathy twice. I don't know if she saw us. My other friend Kathy that you haven't met. And yeah, Eric, at one point on Thursday, I was like, okay, Thursday will be the busy day. Friday will be busy. Saturday will be fine by the time I get to classes. Somebody had mentioned to me that a lot of times Saturday is busy. So lucky for me, Andy came up from Sacramento and was hanging out. And I was like, hey, are you busy on Saturday? Would you come help in the booth? And she came over. Eric did all the checkout and Andy answered questions and cut cork and just was absolutely amazing. It was so great. It was so great to have extra help. So yeah, it was just, I feel like everything went pretty smoothly. There really wasn't anything that I can think of that was like problematic. I mean, parking was easy, getting in was easy. They had big overhead doors because it was at a fairgrounds. Everything kind of worked out really nicely. So you're probably thinking, great, you're going to be back next year. No. So it's kind of one of those things. We do want to come back. We definitely want to. We had an amazing time, but as our brains started to work a little bit better in the drive home, we started just really thinking about it logistically and really going through the money we made versus the money that we spent. You kind of don't realize it. You stop for gas, you just swipe your card. You don't think about it until you really sit and write everything down and you're like, oh, okay, that was more money than I anticipated. So we have made the decision for 2026 that we're not going to veg at Puyallup. And the main reason being, it was a lot. It's a lot to coordinate. It was a lot on our car. It was a lot on our bodies. We're East Coast people. We're now on the wrong time zone. That makes you tired. I don't know about you, but I still don't know what time or what day it is. Yeah. It messes you up a lot.
Well, when we were analyzing on the way home, like how many hours to drive out, just say for 2 people, because we did, basically it was like 14 to 12-hour days. It took us 4 days to go from New York to Washington. And we went from New York to Illinois by St. Louis in Belleville. And then we went out through from there through Denver, Colorado. Then we went to Salt Lake City, Boise, and then up through Oregon, and then Oregon. And then
because of
Washington.
Storms.
Right. We stayed low because of the high wind and stuff like that, which it's windy all over. We did have on the way back, there was a big wind advisory. We did see 3 or 4 tractor trailers tipped over on the side,
which is very weird. It's very weird to see them just like bloop on the side.
I think we did a little cost analysis. I think it was between our just in physical labor between me and Jess, it was like 110 hours of driving.
Yeah.
So you figure that's 2 weeks worth of work just driving to get out there. So
well, and when you think about it too, and again, we had a great time. I wish that it wasn't so far. I wish that it was easier for us. We lost 4 days here, then the show, then another 4 days back, then that extra time in between. Eric, it's hard being the driver. Like, you're not going to sit there and drink water the way that you do at home. Neither one of us hydrated very well. I'm sorry, Pat, if you're here. We did a terrible job about that, so then you get swollen ankles and you get uncomfortable, and it's just like all those little things. And so it is wintertime. So we're avoiding snowstorms, which thankfully he is really good at watching. I'm not. I'm like, oh, it's snowing out. And that's about the extent of my weather knowledge. Eric pays so much attention to all that. So he was like, we can go this route and there's a storm, or we can go this route and it's wind, and wind is better than a storm. And also a lot of Western, like Idaho, Oregon, Washington, they have signs everywhere that tell you to chain up. We don't do chains around here, but that's how steep the terrain is with the snow. So it could have added more time on if we hadn't paid as much attention. Luckily, Eric was a truck driver. So him sitting in a car and driving for 12 or 14 hours is nothing. Me, I get whiny after like 2. And I'm like, I'm tired. I want to stop. So I'm thankful that he was able to do that. And if I really wanted to go again, I know he would drive me again. But being being gone from here, from YouTube, from the dogs, from everything for 2.5 weeks, it's a really long time. And did we have a good show financially?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
We had a fantastic show.
Met a lot of people from the
Met
West
so
Coast.
many people, had great classes, had, I mean, so many hugs, so much feedback, so many people that were like excited to see you too. And they ask about the dogs and like they're so excited. And people that would just kind of randomly pop in and be like, I watch your channel, I love your videos. And so it's awesome. And it's kind of one of those things that you don't want to miss out on. Like, I will definitely be kind of sad if I miss out on that, but we have to be smart about what we're doing. Plus, in doing that, what we were also figuring, and none of this is set in stone. You all know, if you've been here for any length of time, I
And
changed my
chili,
mind.
I will come to Texas anytime.
Texas is not so
I
bad.
love
'Cause
Texas.
when it comes to like shows and stuff, when you can do something, first of all, in your same time zone, that makes a difference. But also, mountains versus a coastline. Going south is always easier on the car, on us, you know, not having to worry about certain little things. We were looking at, if we did 2 other shows next year that are back to back, we would be able to do in less time, less mileage, less hotel rooms that we have to stop at. I mean, that's also a cost to factor in. Less time on the road, less food, all that kind of stuff. We could actually do 2 shows next year back to back and be home in less time than going to Washington and back for 1 show. So you just kind of have to look at it logistically, like,
Yeah, the Washington show
where
was 6,800 miles.
60, oh my god.
And if we did 2
So-
shows on the East Coast, like Georgia and Florida, that would be 2,400 miles, and you hit
Yes.
2 shows. So you're doing almost triple the miles. So,
But with all that being said, okay, don't be too sad, Rhonda. Mark can't hang out with Eric, but if you and Brittany want to come hang out with me, I've been talking to all the ladies that, you know, about teaching and stuff. And I've been talking to Kaya, whose name I've been saying incorrectly because I thought it was Kaya. Her name is Kaya, who works for the university that puts the show on. We are leaning towards me, and I mean, possibly Eric, but it all depends on time, but at least me flying out to Washington next year, teaching some classes, and then coming back before we go to do these other shows. So as long as everything works out, and like, again, financially, I am a business owner, you know, financially the classes work out, and I mean, they do pay well, you get kits, all that kind of stuff. As long as they're willing to give me enough classes that it makes it worth me coming out there, there's a really good chance that I will be teaching out there next year and then coming back and then also doing shows. So that also changes it, because there's no way. There's a show, the show literally, today's Friday, it started yesterday. There would be no way that we could have gotten from Washington to Georgia to set up for a show on time. Like, Eric would have been driving 24 hours straight for like 2 days. So
if I was alone, I could have.
I put my AirPods in and edit videos. I don't bother you.
Slow down.
No, I
you don't
do
need
not.
a ticket. Don't need a ticket.
Well, we don't, and we didn't get one. So there's a very good chance that I will be able to do lots of stuff, you know, just minus the booth. So, you know, there's a lot of things to factor in. And this is something that Lauren was talking about. She was live on, what day did we get there? Wednesday? I think Wednesday. She was live on Wednesday night, if you guys saw it, for like a little bit. And she was kind of talking about the same thing. And it's not that you guys don't know, but sometimes I don't know if you know the full extent of it. You know, you go to a show and yes, you know that we have to pay for a booth. You understand that. You know that we have to pay for a hotel. But also we paid for 8 separate hotel rooms before we got there. You know, it's the extra mileage. It's when we're here, we cook. You know, groceries are a lot cheaper than eating out. But when you're in a car, you're eating out all the time. You're not eating great. There's so many little factors. And so to go all the way to Washington to vend, it's great.
We got to get a camper.
We got to get a camper.
We got to get a camper.
So we can stop and cook every night. You know, but it's just, you have to kind of think about all of those things. And then there's always the thought of, well, why don't you just ship your stuff? You could ship it and then you could fly back and forth. And that's also great. However, shipping is not cheap. And I haven't done this in a long time because I never really liked doing it. I have shipped crates of materials for shows before. The last time that I shipped a crate, it cost me $1,500 one way. So that's $3,000 round trip because we got to send this stuff back, got to send back any of the tables and the other stuff that we don't get rid of.
Well, plus you got to send it in
And
advance
you have to send
because
it so you lose time.
if anything gets lost, then you're at the event, you have nothing. So I think there was one show, it was getting close.
Do you remember the one show that you drove to Florida and I flew to California?
Right.
And then on top of us, now I lost a week because at least a week or two to ship everything there because I was not going to get the stuff back. He had to drive separately to meet me in Florida. I had to buy double the fixtures. That's why I have so much grid wall, because I had to buy double now because otherwise he wasn't going to have it. It just kind of became a thing. So like shipping for me, I'm not saying it's not an option, but it's an option I try to avoid. And also convention centers, not all of them, and it can vary. Convention centers charge you a fee to accept the delivery and bring it to your booth. So that's a whole other thing. So those are things that sometimes they're not super upfront about. I've been charged $300 and I've been charged $2,000 to take a crate on wheels. That one really, I'm still mad about that, and roll it over to my booth. So, there's just all those things that I can't do everything. I can't be everywhere at once. If we're going to get back on the constant shows, then the issue with that is I can't be here with you guys. And I miss this. Like, that's why when I was able to squeeze in an extra live with Lauren, I was like, can we please? And I did that really quick live from the show. I miss you guys. I miss my channel. I work very hard at my channel, which by the way, I don't even know if I told you, we hit 33,000 while we were on the road. So we're slowly creeping to 40, which is my goal for the year. So that was exciting. But I can only do so much. So I want to see all of you and have dinner with all of you and hug you and do all the things. I can't do all of them. So next year we're going to mix it up a little bit. Hopefully classes work out, and that would be awesome. So, and do you have anything you want to put in while I read some comments?
Well,
anything you want to tell them?
Well, my cork sold.
Oh my God, that's right. Tell them. Day one, how many of your prints were you out of? At least 3?
Yeah, my corks was going off the shelf quick.
Crazy.
Yeah, everybody liked a lot of the prints and everything. So while we were out there, I went through my repertoire of
catalog. Just say
catalog. Yeah, I was trying to be smart.
Repertoire is not the right word though.
That's like in music?
No, your catalog. Okay.
That's why I don't do YouTube. So anyway, we narrowed it down to 10 new prints. Then we narrowed it down to 5, and then we ultimately went to 4. So,
but one of them is on 2 colors, so I feel like that's 5.
Yeah,
it's just really hard because Eric wants every time we do a run. Eric's like, "Can we do like 15 new prints?" I'm like, "No," because I have to restock stuff. But hopefully early April, and I'm hoping before Cleveland, you're gonna get new stuff from him and new stuff from me.
Yeah, and I'm excited. And these are really cool. The next 4 prints. We try to, because I let him pick whatever he wants and do whatever he wants. I don't get super involved in it. I'll put my 2 cents in, but I'm like, because there was a print that I was like, that's pushing a lot of buttons, but hey, that's what your line does. But then after we saw it on on a swatch, you know what I'm talking about. After we saw the little swatch of it, I was like, okay, I kind of like it, but also it's gonna push some buttons. I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's a little out there, but that's what your line is. That's what it is. And so we were just trying, because I feel like your original launch of 20 was so diverse. You had skulls, you had, like cats, you had all these like different things. So you got like a little bit of everything. So this one, yes, it's only 4, but I still think they're very different. There isn't like an overall theme to any of them. So I think it's really exciting. We were debating on one
which colorway to go with. And then my manufacturer, I love this. They will print me a little swatch and send me pictures so I can see how it looks. As soon as I saw it on white and on natural, I was like, I want them both. But let me see what Eric says. And he goes, I like both of them. And I was like, all right, done. So I'm very excited to play with his new designs.
The natural gives an antique look.
Yes, for sure. For this particular print. So very exciting. On top of that, so I have like 5 cork orders pending right now. This is what happens when you leave me in the car by myself for way too long. So we have a massive restock that is on order. So almost everything is being restocked. There's a few things that I did take off the website because we got to move some old stuff to make room for new stuff. And even if you love it, and I'm sorry, but if it's been hanging out on my shelf for too long and it took me too long to sell it, it's got to go. It's got to go back in the archives.
See?
Will we pull it back? Maybe.
Wanda's comment about, she gets comments on her
on the curvy tattooed lady. I love that. Yeah. So I'm excited to take a few things off and then, put a few things back on. I think in the first round of restocks, there's 1 or 2 new prints, or maybe a new print, a new color, but that's it. And then on the second round, because I didn't want to make it super crazy and I really need restocks before Cleveland, the second order is all brand new. It's Eric's prints. It's something new that I'm trying out, which I'm excited about. It's a couple of like changes to existing prints. Like it's all new. We have lots of black on order. I just want to make sure that you all know that. And then I also ordered from our other manufacturer. We ordered from 2. One is where we can get pretty much anything made. That's kind of their specialty. And the other one, they stock what they stock. I went through, I restocked a bunch of stuff from them. And then I also picked like a couple new colors and a couple new prints. So the cork is kind of slowly rolling in. March Cork Club, I think, just got delivered. A little bit late, but that's okay. But we have a lot of new stuff coming. So I'm super excited about that. I think, is that everything? Yeah, we didn't order anything else, like any new hardware or anything like that. We just went bonkers bananas on cork.
Actually, Andy was in the booth with me, and I don't know if I showed her a couple of the prints, but I showed her like 20. So Andy doesn't know which ones I picked. But the thing is that, and again, on our trip on the way back to New York, obviously having time to talk, and having, everybody, a lot more people. We're not getting in the booth. What is cork? People already know what cork is. Some people haven't used sewing with it yet. So the one thing at a show, it's a lot easier when people are coming to you and they already know what it is, which is great. The thing is now it's like we were talking about like doubling down on, hey, you can get, this print for the last 10, 12 years. So, just like anything, it goes out of style or something like that. So, I mean, myself and Jessica, talking about, keeping the inventory fresh, not getting stagnant things, because maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, a print sold crazy. Now it's actually dropped down from being a very popular one to being not so, being number 4 out of 10 now. So, let's get something else in there instead of, spending the money on stuff that sits and collects dust. Let's, get stuff that that is new. Because here's the thing, you can make a bag 4 different ways with the same colored cork, and then you're like, oh, it's kind of the same thing. So Jess is like really, really concentrating on, getting new corks in, because I think that's a lot. I mean, I think that's more like just her little, your forte kind of thing, because you go to other or you can go to another place to buy cork, which is fine, but Jess really, goes on the her own patterns and her own, designs, just to keep everything. Because I mean, it's almost like a fabric store. You can go to 20 different fabric stores and they all sell
a lot of the same thing.
A lot of the same fabric.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could come to Jess and you could go to some other stores and that sell cork, but we want to be the one that has the unique stuff, the crazy stuff.
For
I
sure.
definitely have the crazy stuff, but
But that's the other thing too, and I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt you, but what you had said about things going in and out of popularity. Do you remember the shows we used to do from like maybe like 2015 to like 2018? If it had a butterfly on it, gone. Could not, like, we had, that was when we had like a handful of custom prints. Two of them were butterfly prints, and then we had some other butterflies from like manufacturers. We could not keep them in stock. I would go to a show and I would bring so much of these like particular prints, and every time I bring them, they were gone. Now, in recent times, things with butterflies, people are like, meh. It's like it's a trendy thing that goes in and out of style. And so I was thinking about this because we were talking in the car, and I had said to him, "Do you remember that one print that we used to have a long time ago that they discontinued, and well, now it's brought back? Our other manufacturer now has it." And I was like, should I, shouldn't I? And I debated back and forth. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get it. As cute as it is,
the one
it'll
with the
be
bee.
there. No, no, the
Oh,
purple butterflies. As
oh,
cute as it is, and as many people haven't seen it, we sold the out of that cork. Like, I could not keep it in stock. I was ordering literal rolls of it. And now it's just like, yeah, we've seen that one. So now instead we have, skulls, and we have other things, which again, I totally understand are not for everybody. 100% get that. But also I'm trying to get a little bit of something for everyone, because I've seen some names come across with orders that have ordered like your line. And I'm like, I've never seen these people's names before. So we're definitely getting more people in because of some of the unique stuff that we have. And as cork is getting more popular, and for sure, like you said, there's maybe a handful of people that were like, tell me about cork. They didn't say what is cork, but they were like, tell me a little bit about why I want to use it. As we're getting away from people not knowing what it is, we have to stand out, because there's so many people. And I heard this in Novi. My mom and I heard this over and over again. There was no cork a few years ago. Now all these booths have cork. There's a booth down there and there's a booth over there. So now that there's more and more, sorry, Roxy's very anxious to end this live. Now that there's more and more people selling cork, and you can get it at your quilt shops and you can get it other places, we have to have the stuff that is different. And so I have a few new designs, a few new things that I can do, because I have a lot of flexibility in that. Eric has the out there stuff. One of the other things I tried really hard on this restock and this new stuff not to do, I tried to avoid flowers, because we are so oversaturated with floral prints, which I love, you guys love. But oh my, we have to, I don't even know how to name them anymore because there's so many of them. So I actually went out of my way to not bring on new florals. He had a beautiful design and he was like, you can have it. And I was like, I don't want it. I want it. Like, it's gorgeous. I said, I can't bring on any more flowers. Not right now, because we have so many florals. So I was like, let's do geometrics. Let's do your stuff. Let's do like different colorways of things. There's just so many things. I'm never going to make everybody happy. I'm never going to have something for everyone, but I'm trying really hard. So you have something to say. I'm reading comments.
how do you know?
Because I can tell, because you started.
No, I actually have some prints that are more calmed down that I think would work on more on Jess's end. The thing is that
I might steal them.
yeah,
Not
I
saying I won't.
think like for instance, like snails and mushrooms. You got so many comments out in Washington about the snail and
The mushroom
cork, and I'm like, that's really the only one that I see that's out there. So I'm like, well, why don't we make our own again, since we have that ability to print anything we want,
basically.
yeah. So it's just like, it's a lot of, and which is nice that we don't have to get what everybody else has. So,
and we still can, and we're still going to get some of those basics and the neutrals. And trust me, I'll sell anything. You guys want clowns, I'll sell it. I don't care. Like, I will bring on any print that's going to sell. But when I start to see that the shelf has not cleared out in a while, and there's a handful of them, I make decisions sometimes. I think they're cute. They don't go over well. I don't make a bag with it. Kim said, and she's right. Not that I'm trying to be like, oh, I'm great. But Kim said, and she's absolutely right. She said, when Jess makes a bag with cork, it goes back in demand. And you're right. because people see how it's used. So his Peep Show cork, that's the white one with the black squares with the ladies in it. It's always been, I'm going to say middle to high popular for him. Like birds are number one.
Yeah,
Cats are like number two. Peep Show and Pop Arch are like in that 3-4 spot for him all the time. I made that new Kaylee. That's why we sold out of that, because they see it being used, and it just kind of shows you the scale and how it looks in a bag. On day one, Thursday, birds gone, Peep Show gone, Pop Art gone. There was another one that has gone.
Oh, the cats.
The cats gone. By Friday, you were hard pressed to find a piece of EVL cork, which made me I was so proud. I was so excited.
Woman,
she had like one of everything.
Yeah, she had like 8 full pieces of cork.
And I was like, do you want me to cut that? She goes,
like,
no.
Yeah.
Like, this is mine.
It's nice to see.
It makes you feel good, doesn't it? Like,
yeah.
It's exciting.
Especially when you get the money. I don't get it. She gets it. But
I pay you.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. We'll talk
about that later. That's about it.
So hold on. We have a couple questions. Linda says, I can't wait to see the next EVL cork. I love the skulls and the roses too, by the way.
I'll tell you can we tell them the names? To give them a little teaser?
You're going to make them crazy.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
All right. Well, can I read a couple of questions?
Okay. Yeah.
Just a couple of things. Wanda said, I love your cork. There's nothing like it anywhere else. Thank you, Wanda. And she also said, and I lost it already. Will you have no new corks at Sew Whatever Summit? That is the plan. So Sew Whatever Summit is the end of April. I have already requested to get as much by the beginning of April, because we have Cleveland the first weekend. Then the second or third weekend, we have an in-person retreat. And then the last weekend is Sew Whatever Summit, followed immediately by Raleigh. So that is the goal. Also, I had to put kits together.
Patriotic.
We didn't do anything with
patriotic. I have one. Or I actually have a couple patriotic ones. I didn't do it this time, but next time. And again, because I did such a small collection for this time, it might be sooner for my another 4. You know what I'm saying? So I do have a really cool patriotic. I think it covers a lot of branches of the military, Army, Navy.
But I think even
Air
just
Force.
a general patriotic,
yeah,
we could do something.
It's got I could tell you, it's got some skulls, American flags, and some hats on the skulls that were designated which branch of the Army. So
we might need something
service.
Flag-like.
You
know what I mean?
So I got tons.
So.
If you could get in this brain, if you could get in there, you would all be amazed.
So Marie said, I would love critters like kangaroos, capybara, porcupine, and skunks. I love critters. Okay. So don't think that I have critters are at my feet right now. We love critters. The only thing is I have found that we don't sell a lot of those corks. They're hit or miss. So that's why we don't go like crazy on those. It's not that we couldn't, or, but it's certain things that the cats and the birds, the little snails always go well, but like the Forest Friends cork can be hit or miss. I know it all depends on the color scheme and like what people like, but definitely doing some stuff with animals is in my wheelhouse, probably more than his. And definitely it's not floral. So I'm trying so hard not to do the flowers. Now, Shelly, you bring up an interesting point. I'm gonna go right off of that. Shelly said something Southwest, like cactus. I used to have a cactus print. I actually had 2, and it got 0 attention. 0. Nobody was a fan of it. But what I've also found is that as our tastes change, as times change, as new customers kind of rotate through, sometimes when I bring back the old stuff, all of a sudden it's like really popular the second time. So you guys all remember the houndstooth cork. None of you liked that when I first brought it in. And I was like, really? Now the houndstooth, we sell a ton of. So I'm not opposed to bringing the cactus back for sure. Are we close to Hopewell Junction? We are not. We're in the same state, but we're
south.
not.
They're south, maybe.
Yeah, but like a few hours, right?
No, it's like maybe an hour.
Okay.
Maybe. It's not too far.
Yvonne and Shelly want cactus cork. Well, you might get that.
You want it with the little Mexican hat and the little worm?
No, just cactus.
Just
nice
cacti?
grown up Cacti. Yes. Okay. Tell him your names.
I don't know the names.
You don't know. Okay. So here's how it goes.
I designed two names.
Eric comes up with the themes of everything, and then I do the names because that's my designation. So hold on, I have to read them because I wrote them down and I'll totally forget. Oh no, our Easy Pass. These scammers need to stop texting. We're gonna go to jail if we don't pay our Easy Pass. That's too bad. Okay, so let's see here. So first up, we have Tough Love, because we couldn't call it what we really wanted to call it because it was a little bit too much. It's R-rated. We also have Tropicool. So just do what you want with that. We have Pathology.
Yep.
And we also have Thoracic Garden, which I wanted to call Thoracic Park, and Eric changed it to Garden just because I'm weird like that. I'm also the one that call it Thick Thighs Save Lives. So these are the names. I come up with the weird stuff and then he agrees or disagrees and we work on it together. But also, just so you know, Eric doesn't remember the names of any of his own corks. Not a single solitary one. He can't remember the names of them. So if you said to him, I love your Heartbreaker cork, he'd be like, okay. Because he doesn't remember the names. And I only remember them because I named them. And it's just really funny.
The Tough Love.
Don't give it.
Not too much.
Not too
that
much.
One is a little bit of the sassy.
It's
the spicy, sassy.
Spicy. Oh, it's spicy.
Yeah, it's spicy. But it's cute spicy. So it's not.
We can get camo. You guys want camo cork?
Yeah.
We don't have to do anything with that. The manufacturer already has camo.
Like there's things like camo print, stuff like that. We know, like, is it more specialized? I actually have designs like carbon fiber. I got like kind of
I agree, Kim.
Like metal plating stuff, not diamond plate. This is like kind of more like oval, but the way it's printed, it gives a shade like as if it was shining. So I don't know how that would come out when they print it. I mean, that was something for me to look into. I got some steampunk stuff in the back burner. I got some really crazy bright. I mean, I don't know how bright it'll be on the cork, but kind of
comes out a little different.
Yeah, like I got like leopard print that's like different shades. Not like leopard colors, but more like pinks and blacks and aquas and pinks and yellows and stuff like that. So I mean, I wish I could.
If we hit the lottery,
yeah.
I'm still going to be in business. You'll just see that we will have every cork imaginable.
I'll buy a printer.
We'll
print anything.
We'll buy Portugal.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with camo. They do make camo and they have it in different colors. But do you guys want like legit green camo? Do you want girly pink camo? Tell me what you want. I will put it on for the next restock list. I will get you camo. I'm not a camo girl, but it doesn't mean I can't get it for you.
The thing is, we can print, we can like design and put the colors. We don't need to get what's already manufactured. We can actually.
But they already made it easy for us because
I know. But
I'm just saying. I know,
but it's just like everybody else has done.
What's winter camo, Kim? Help me. So
is
and
that
also
the grays and the blacks.
Probably like the blues and the. So see, Jess is not liable if you burn your house to this tool. Why is this popping up now? I didn't put any tools on. Lauren, you're a tool. Lauren's here.
Tell me what you want.
What you really, really want.
Spice Girl.
So anyway, Dirty Girl has a pink and black camo. Good to know. I'm always interested in your feedback. And one of the things that that Kim said, and I'm just going to say we've made a couple of attempts in this direction. Kim said the Forest Friends would be great in a smaller scale. And you guys have asked for that repeatedly on other prints. You haven't told me which ones because you're helpful, but you're not that helpful. You're like, we want smaller prints. I'm like, in what? So some of Eric's do need to be scaled and some of mine need to be scaled as well. And so I did order 2 of mine in a smaller scale. I didn't even tell you. I ordered them in a smaller scale. One will be in addition to, The other one will be a new version because the old version is sold out. I got a new version. I want to just kind of play around with scale because it can be tough. Excuse me, because we all make different bags. We make little bags, we make big bags, we make totes, we make wallets, and not every print is going to work for everything. And this is one of the things I was going back and forth with my manufacturer. And I mean, no offense against him. He's a guy, he doesn't make bags, but he's always very helpful and very happy to put his 2 cents in. And I sent over the design and he was like, I think it's perfect as is. If you go smaller, you might lose some of it. And I was like, I'm debating going kind of in between like a medium size. And so he was sending me pictures of it with his thumb next to it for scale. And so I was like, do I, don't I, do I, don't I? And I think that it would still work for a wallet where he's like, I think it's big. And I'm like, but you're also not a bag maker. There's so much.
No,
I'm not complaining. I just want to make sure that you guys I'm not complaining. I'm having a great time doing this, but there are some days where I'm like, I feel like I can't win. So I'm doing everything. I'm doing the best I can.
yeah, there's some prints that you have, like even some of mine, if they were scaled down, because then you could have your bag and then you could have a wallet that was scaled down. So
are you using your lotion?
that's so pretty. So pretty. No more crow's feet.
We won't get into that right now.
Yeah.
I'll just say this. One of my other frustrations with shows in general right now is that attendance is down, vendors are down, and I feel, and I'll just leave this out there, sometimes decisions are being made to fill spaces that I don't feel are appropriate for quilt shows. And that's all I'm going to say. And we'll move on. So Lauren is always personal, Shelley. So yeah, so we definitely made good use of our time in the car in designs and thinking about things and, you know, kind of just like reordering. I spent a lot of money in the car. This is why I should not be in the car for long periods of time. But we have a ton of court coming in and I'm so excited about it. I'm excited for you to see his stuff and my stuff. I'm excited to fill the shelves again because sometimes the shelves make me sad when they're empty. Like it's a good thing, but it's also like, oh, where did all my court go? So we're working on a lot of stuff right now.
Because Andy brought up a point, my work wife,
You're
is that when Andy and I were in the booth, and you know, and again, everybody needs to make money. Everybody needs to.
Sure.
I think because of the attendance, either like the booth fees are going up, so your vendors are going down. Just maybe some business, some quilt stores or whatever, they're like they can't afford that inventory right now because of the economy and all that stuff. The only problem is, and again, I'll get more personal than Jess will with the people, is that there was a booth across the way from us. They were selling anti-aging cream, you know, makeup, not really makeup. It was more makeup. Lotions and stuff like that, which, hey, you know, it is what it is. The only thing is that for the last 3 or 4 shows that I've been to, and they've been right next door to us. Now we don't know because, and again, we just stay in our lane and sell her products. It's not, we don't care what anybody else does there. We hope everybody has a great show. The problem is that when our booth is saturated with so many people, and then you have the people next door that are across the way that are selling the lotion, and because of the foot traffic in her booth, the people, they're kind of aggressive to say, oh, you're so pretty and you could use some lotion and this and that, and try to get that customer from our booth to their booth, which I understand the sales pitch. I understand all that stuff.
I don't care what they're selling. We don't do that. And other people don't do that. Lauren didn't do that.
The problem is that you have with that, and again, people do what they want to do. But what happens is when you are trying to avoid something like that, do you avoid that aisle now? Now you're like, this is I don't want to deal with that. So we've had many people, and I think Andy was in the booth at the time on Saturday, where people actually walked in to our booth
to
avoid them. And I'm like, one woman came up and she's like looking at her friend. She's like, no. I said, don't do it. But again, we're there for us. We're not there for anybody else.
No, but it's just frustrating
yeah,
because there are other people that are there for us or to shop in general. And I don't know about you guys. I'm not that person that goes into a store and wants an aggressive salesperson. And especially when I'm at a show where my enjoyment is my hobby and I want to look at sewing machines and take classes and see somebody I know on YouTube and, touch the cork and the vinyl. I don't want somebody yelling at me to try to get my attention. And actually, that's the last way to get my attention. I will literally, if you yell at me, snap your fingers, I'm done. I'm out. Like, I won't. And it was frustrating because at one point,
it's not cheap.
It's not. And Eric had said, because I was in class, he was like, people were literally walking through the booth to avoid them. And it's like, they came into my booth not to buy anything, but to get away from other people. And so it's very frustrating. And we all voiced our concerns to the people running the show because it has been nonstop. And live your life, do whatever you want, sell whatever you want. But they also lie. And we heard them lie. Somebody said, what's this pamphlet on your table? And he was like, oh, we don't actually sell any of that. It's just there for display. Well, that's not fair. Like, that's, I come in and I actually do sell sewing supplies. Like, that's what we were there for. So those are the kinds of things that just kind of get irritating. You're not going to ever avoid them. There's always going to be something like that. Why are they always across from me? I can't get away from them.
I said it's because of the foot traffic that they want to be by you. The only other thing
I feel like that's giving too much credit because I don't even feel like they even pay attention to my name. You know what I mean?
The only other thing is
true, Andy, very true. We were on a corner.
When we were, when you have 400 vendors that are at a location, and then you actually have, 50 more waiting to get in, and there's like a wait list for the year after that. But since COVID, having vendors not show up, so maybe you have room for 400 and you had 320, and you're like, and as an event coordinator, all you care about is paying the bills and making sure the event is full. And no matter what people do, if I sold little widgets, as long as that booth of $3,000 was paid, what do you care? As long, because everybody has bills to pay, which we all understand, except you just can't. Now beggars can't be choosers. Now you get what you get, and it is what it is. And you know what? Eventually, people, they'll get weeded out or whatever. But again, as long as we stay in our lane and do what we do, because
and we try to just. We try to just show up to the shows and just be there. We're there for you. We're there to give you attention. We're there to, to ask or to answer your questions and to show you the cork and to, answer the stuff about patterns and stuff. And so for the most part, we do avoid it. It's irritating more than anything else. It's just one of those things. Like Tracy said, can you ask not to be put near them? I have, and unfortunately, what happens, they're not under the correct name for what they do. They're under a different name. They use various names. They're just as bad as the telemarketers that call you.
Yeah.
And that you get a call from a local area code and you're like, oh, is this something I need to answer? So unfortunately that happens. But in the grand scheme of things, it's minor. We end up making a joke out of it. We end up laughing about it because we're just like, whatever, we're doing our thing. They're going to do their thing no matter what. And the whole point of us going out to Washington was to make money and to promote the business and to do that. And I feel like we for sure did that. Like, I look at the numbers on YouTube. I see people like, I just subscribed, and I'm like, that's amazing. And they get to like tell you in person, like how much they love your cork, and they get to see all the stuff. And so it's definitely worth it.
Well, the people that were across, no,
I don't want to talk about them anymore.
But what happened is they have little free samples in bags and little, and they there was a couple on the floor when we were cleaning up, like on breakdown. So I grabbed one on the floor and I put it on my eyes, and that's where Lauren came and was busting my chops about how I look pretty, and actually I felt amazing. I felt like I was like 25 years younger.
But in reality, you
And
said that it burned a little bit.
It did
So
burn.
I'm just saying.
I put it around my eye here, because for the crow's feet, and it actually it kind of tingled and burned. So I'll just stick to the preparation H from now on.
I just stick with whatever you're doing.
Yeah,
You look great.
yeah,
you
amazing.
look amazing.
Yeah, maybe if they sold hair dye, maybe I could get a little bit of that. But
So yeah. So that was our
especially me in the booth. Listen, everybody wants to come to the booth when I'm there.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
So that was our Washington adventure.
Yeah.
So next up, we don't have a lot. We're not going anywhere in March, except right here, and some classes, and that's it. And then April is going to be bonkers, absolutely bonkers. But it's all good because we have lots of court coming in. So I'm excited. And now I have some more ideas from you guys of what you want, so we can also work on those. Excuse me. And we can just keep bringing new stuff in. We always want to hear your feedback, because I can buy whatever cork I want, but if it's not what you want, then it's kind of just me having a hobby, and this is a business. So we're always excited to hear your feedback and to hear what you want. And so it's,
any new patterns?
Yeah, actually I am working on a new pattern. It's right there. You can't see it. So yeah, working on a new pattern. That is what I would love to do tomorrow.
Oh, that's another reason why you can't be on the road a lot.
Well, that's the other thing is, I mean, that definitely hinders me with patterns and stuff and just everything else. And so I think this is probably the busiest year we've had. When did we start doing shows again? 2 years ago? 2 or 3 years ago? I think I did one show in 2023, maybe, or 2022. And then we started doing them kind of in 23 and 24. This is probably the busiest schedule that we've had in a while. I'm excited about it, but
we do go to Florida a lot. I'm just answering a question.
Yes, we don't have anything planned for this year, but next year we will be in Florida, I think at least 2 times.
Yeah, we did Lakeland.
Well, we're going to do Lakeland. We haven't officially signed up for it yet, but we're going to do Lakeland. That is on the list for next year, and Atlanta, and then also we'll be at the Villages.
The only thing is, like, one of my first shows was Daytona. At AQS show. Great place to get in and out of. Obviously over the years it was, very popular. And then it went from a full show to a 3/4 show, because there was another show at the same time in Virginia or something like that.
You know what happened in 2020 and everything changed.
Right. So, but Florida, we do a lot. We have a good presence in Florida. You go to the Villages, right?
We're going to go to the Villages in February. Yep. It's not a show, Zena. It's actually the guild. They have a very large guild, so I will be a speaker and doing some classes. We're working on what I'm doing. I don't know exactly right now. Eric will probably come with me. We haven't really worked out the details, but I will be there. Not necessarily vending. I'll be at the guild itself. They have a huge guild, and then they also have like smaller guilds around. So I have a couple other people to reach out to see if I could come back to their guild as well. So it's very exciting. And we didn't realize until some of you said it that we didn't have Florida on the books at all for this year. I don't know how that happened.
Well, it would have been, but
we were going to do Lakeland, and then we were both like, oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, because we were supposed to go from Washington to Lakeland.
Yeah. And then we decided when we were booking everything, maybe let's not.
And the good thing,
I'm glad we didn't.
I'm glad we didn't, because here's the thing: the first day, Thursday and Friday of the Washington show,
so much.
I want to say the cork was down like to 40% of like our inventory of like
for sure
what we brought. I'm like, it was so. I was like, I felt so violated by cork purchases.
Yeah.
Which was great. I mean, but the cork, the inventory, like the first day, it was just like,
it got kind of sad.
Yeah, it was like,
happy, but also
normally,
it doesn't look so good.
Normally I consolidate the cork bins like
after a couple
days. This was like, I could have consolidated probably like 8 bins.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it. I didn't do it actually at all at the show, because I wanted to keep people separated in the booth, because Yeah, keep them separated.
Do you want to answer Wanda's question?
Which one's that?
Right there. Are you doing OSQE in Dallas in July and August? Do you want to?
Yeah, we are.
And who's going with me?
I am.
And
I'm
who
going.
else is there? Shelly and Trisha.
Shelly and Trisha.
Yes, Wanda, we will be there this year. And as far as I know, I will be teaching. I have not gotten my official contract yet, but I know that they're working on it. Zoe is like, okay, we've been down here too long. We're done. Zoe really desperately wants us to call it a day. She's very excited that we're home, but also a little like, you're not leaving again, right?
Well, I don't do YouTube lives too much, and I know just
you should more. They like you.
Just the only thing I can say is our attitude for 2025 and going forward with so many creations is full bore,
all in,
and we're just going to we're going to try to reach new heights and levels in her business, and it's like game on now. You know, we're done messing around with the snow and messing around with all this other,
Well, we have no choice in that
matter.
Yeah. Until the day comes that there's no snow in New York.
Because we have a 4-year plan, a 4 to 5 year plan to
eliminate snow.
To eliminate snow.
We're on a 4-year plan of eliminating snow.
Yeah. Well, the thing is we're on a 4-year plan to basically possibly move. Possibly move.
We don't know.
So we don't have to drive, 18 hours to a show. We can actually do a 10-hour drive, an 8-hour drive. We can reach basically the circuit within a day, and kind of get out there and maybe do more shows for people. So because we don't have a store, so I mean, you can bring it to you.
I can leave anytime I want.
Yeah, you can leave whenever you want. But no, I know myself. I'm very positive with all the different quirks and everything we got going on, and I think you'll be very excited with the stuff
I hope so.
that I have coming out. And well, I know my first line was been out for a little bit, but
it has. But it's.
I'm gonna kick it up.
Well, things have been out for a little bit, but also we have to, unfortunately, we just don't have an unlimited supply of money. And until that day comes, and you'll know it when you see all the cork, you'll know. So let me just answer a couple more quick things, and then we're going to go because I feel like I'm going to fall asleep. Let's see here. So yes, we're going to Dallas. Vanessa said, I'm not into florals for cork, but I appreciate that you stock it in your shop. I like unusual and different cork designs, so I'll be watching for Eric's. Thank you. And just a little side note, we have the cork page on the website, which has too much. It's so much that it takes forever to load. That's where there's all like the solids, the florals, the regular stuff, and also Cork Club signups, which Cork Club is coming to an end this year for a little bit, and also the Cork Club as it comes out. Thank you, Lauren. Eric's cork is on its own separate page. That way, it's kind of a trigger warning. So in case you go there and you're like, oh God, this is too much, it tells you on the top basically what you're in store for. Sorry, I got booger nose. But his is the EVL cork. Somebody in Washington said, what does that mean? It's Eric Vandenberg Limited, but when you look at it quickly, it looks like evil, and a lot of the cork all of it's edgy. So 2 separate cork pages. Let me see here. Zena says move to Florida. Zena, you're amazing, and with all due respect, no, I cannot live in Florida. You have way too many things down there that try to kill people. You have alligators, you have snakes, and you have all of the old people from New York that move there. Florida's out for me, so no. You also have really big bugs. I will visit Florida. I cannot live there. Kim wants us to move to Ohio. Kim, if I'm going to do that, I got to go a little bit further. We got to get more in the middle of the country if we're going to do that. So Florida is just not for us. It's just not, but it's okay. I love to visit Florida. I just know that it's not for me. Rhonda said,
they got those tropical tornadoes.
Those tropical tornadoes, those little fancy little storms. Rhonda said, Mark said hello.
Oh, hi.
Eric made
It-
lots of new
it-
friends.
it was
so
awesome.
many so that I was like, could you move so I could use the register because
Yeah.
you're not working?
Me and Mark, we're buddy. Great conversations.
And wow, Teresa just gifted a whole bunch of people memberships. Thank you.
Wow.
That's amazing. You guys are awesome.
Aw.
And thank you all for being members. So do I ever come to Southern California? Not anymore. We haven't been there since 2020. Nothing is out of the question. We're trying as much as we can for now to stay like Texas and East because it's just easier driving.
If Lauren goes to Southern California, I'll pull her trailer there. So if you get Lauren to go, then we'll go.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
We're just trying to be smart, and anything that's a 2-day or less drive just feels smarter right now. Just because we just keep getting older.
The
and that's
only
not fun.
thing about like reaching out that far, it's not. It's got to be the best bang for the buck. So if we went to Southern California, we'd have to do a 2 shows.
At least 2 shows. Yeah. And that's what I used to do.
To maximize.
But also, I'm not in my 30s anymore, and I don't know if I can handle that anymore. Oh, hi, Jade. Marie said, so I guess you wouldn't go on an airboat ride with me. I would, as long as I don't have to get in the water, because I know what happens in water in Florida. But yes, I would do that. That sounds amazing and fun. After this winter, snowbirding in Florida is sounding more appealing. Yes, it is, Kim. I used to be like, what is up with these snowbirds? Now I get it. I totally understand because it's still freaking cold out. So, and it was cold when we got to Lawrence, and I've never been in Illinois. Not never, but every time I go to Illinois, it's nice. And I was like, what is happening? What's going on right now? So, Karen said, where can I find the expo schedule? Anything I have scheduled right now, and it does get updated as like classes get added, is right on the homepage. Scroll down. There is still a notification about orders and template shipping. We just got home last night. This is the first time I've opened my computer. So, excuse me. I have updates to do. We have March Court Club to ship and start getting sent out. Andy had mentioned that we did sell out of some patterns at the show, and we haven't done that in a while either. It's been such a focus on cork. So it was actually very exciting for me, the pattern designer, to sell out of some patterns. That was very exciting. My first OSQE class in Cleveland I have 2 classes. One of them sold out. So the Christie crossbody is sold out for the Cleveland show, which I'm just so excited. Like, it's so exciting, but also I feel like it kind of shows them that you took a chance on someone you didn't know, and it worked out. I sold out a class.
What about me? You took a chance on me.
I did take a chance on you. I'm still taking chances. So I'm very excited about that. If you're coming to my Cleveland class, yay.
The only other thing.
When is the new EVL coming out? As soon as it gets here. We're aiming for like early to mid-April, but a lot of that is in the hands of Portugal, but also FedEx. And FedEx lately has been nothing shy of disappointing. So hopefully it all goes smoothly and it gets here. But we are aiming for April. I just don't know if it's April 1st or April 30th, but we were aiming for April as soon as possible because we just want all the new cork in now. Let me see here. Anything else? Can't wait for Cleveland. Me too. Chris, I'm excited. And please, I've said this before, but I want to say it again. Don't be weird when you come up at shows. Don't avoid us. Don't not tell me who you are, because I want to know who you are. I want to know your name. And so many of you are so, like, you'll come up and you're like, I follow you and this is my name. And I'm like, awesome. And then some of you just kind of will later on be like, I talked to you in your booth. And I'm like, why didn't you introduce yourself? I want to know your name. I will not hug you if you don't want to be hugged, but I am a hugger. So I'm always down for it. But don't ignore us and think it's weird because I put myself out here. You were not weird, Jay, at all. You were not weird. Sometimes I think we forget because, like, I don't know your faces, but you know me. And so there's that weird thing that happens where you're like, I know you so well. I'm not weirded out by it. I know that I put myself out there. I make him participate. Like, you know my dog's names. I've shown you my apartment. Like, I'm okay with it. It's not weird to me if you come up and you're like, oh my God, I've emailed you. I watch you. I like you. You're great. Whatever. I mean, you know, you're shorter in person. Like, it doesn't bother me. If you're like, can we take a picture? Can I get a hug? Can I just chat with you for a while? it does not weird me out. So I want to make sure that you know that I actually would rather that you came up and said hi and introduced yourself.
I don't get any hugs.
Eric gets, you do get hugs. Don't be weird about it. But definitely come up and tell us, instead of saying later, like, I saw you in your booth, come say hi, please.
And even if we're busy.
Even if we're busy, just be like, hey, I'm Jane and I love you and I'll see you later. And that's totally fine. It's not weird at all. I do not speak for all YouTubers, but I'm just telling you, I don't find it weird. It's actually very flattering because I work really hard here and I love when you're like, oh my God, I got to meet you in person. That's so cool. I had somebody ask if I would autograph her pattern. That makes me laugh because I'm nobody, but I'm like, if you want me to, I'm like, sure. Like it does not weird me out. So I just want you to know that. I didn't know, Eric, I got you next time. See? Eric will also accept hugs, but also he understands.
I try to autograph everything, but nobody wants
it. Andy, I'm really sad too, but I guess that means that we have to meet up again. So that's all that I can say.
Andy was great.
So, is that everything?
No.
That was a lot. That was so much. I think that was.
I don't know if I should say this, but
probably not then. But you're going to anyway.
No, well, I this is gonna put you on the spot. I had a little birdie tell me that there might be a revamping of Diva wallet.
Why are you doing that?
Because I put it out there.
Why are you putting it out there? They
because
don't care?
This is something that the Diva wallet has ran its path. You know, people have.
I don't think that this group cares as much about it as you think they do. Okay. But they might. I don't know.
You know what? Don't worry about it. I'll revamp it and I'll sell it. Don't worry about it. I got it. Yeah. I'm gonna have a booth next to her.
He's always said that. Really, really quick, and then we are actually gonna go because I'm hungry and tired. I do have another video coming for you guys probably in the next day or so. The Patreons and the members got it, and it's just like one of my. I call them, hey, let's make a Christy crossbody. Oh, I totally understand. It's a dorky name, but I'm a dorky person. So that will be coming. And also the Kaylee tutorial is done and edited minus my intro. So I just have to do that part. And then Patreons and members will get Kaylee the tutorial soon. And then everybody else will get it afterwards. And I have one more video to edit. I'm a little nervous to edit it though, because I was more tired than I am right now. I have no idea what I'm in for. I might just ditch the whole thing and just say, no, they don't need to see this. Or you might get the weirdest, most chaotic thing you've ever seen in your life. And this is coming from me.
Well, tell them.
Charlie said, I'm canceling all my plans in anticipation of a Diva revamp.
Yeah, see? Well, here was another thing that she's gonna take from Lauren.
I'm not taking anything from Lauren.
You're stealing it from her.
I am not.
Jessica you're gonna start doing like random pop-up lives.
I mean, that's not just a Lauren thing, but she's better about it than I am.
Yeah, she's awesome at it.
Yeah, and Eric's like, why don't you do that more? And I was
if
like,
Lauren can do it, why can't you do it? Lauren's
if Lauren
the best.
does it, you should do everything she does.
Yeah, because Lauren's the best.
Because it's just one of those things. You guys know that we're here on Fridays at 11. That's always been our thing. So,
but during the week,
don't randomly go live very
7,
often.
8 o'clock at night, you'd be like, boop, there's Jess.
But I should.
But it's only like 15, 20 minutes, nothing.
I know. I'm working on
People
it.
want you, honey. They love you.
Jade says, do it. And Lauren goes, haha, oh my God, go live whenever. Who cares? Just do it. Listen, don't pressure me. I want to. And sometimes I do think about it and I'm like, no.
You can wear your bunny outfit. She's got a bunny outfit.
No, I do not.
Yeah, she does.
I do not. Eric did find a random picture of me on his phone holding a license plate that's not one of ours with ears on, animal ears. And I was like, who took this picture and when did this exist and where did those ears come from? And no, it was not
we
weird.
Know where
Don't
the
make
ears
it
came
weird.
From.
Don't make it weird.
It came from Halloween.
Yeah, but I was never dressed up as an animal for Halloween. Not once.
I got pictures.
I think it was AI or it was photoshopped. So anyway, okay. With lots of lotion. All right. So if you have ideas for me, videos, cork, new men that I should date in my life and get divorced, whatever ideas you have, send them to me. leave them on here.
Then they can drive you to Washington.
They can drive you to Washington. I'm just kidding. Go get your dogs. We're almost done.
I love everybody.
And yeah, so we're going to wrap this up. I have so many ideas. I just keep running out of time, but I'm going to get so many things done. And yeah, so give me all of your ideas. Be nice to each other. And I hope that it's warm wherever you are, because it's not warm here. Hopefully spring is coming.
We got that solid white rain that's coming down.
I called it. Eric goes, oh, come on, it's snowing again. I said, it's barely sticking. It's like white rain. Yeah. So, all right. So you might randomly see me pop up on a live for absolutely no reason, just to be here. Yeah, get your credit cards ready. We got a court coming. And March Court Club will be shipping on time. I'm gonna go get it off the porch because I wanna check it out. I'm excited. So the weather in Washington was amazing. No complaints about that. The dogs are happy that we're home. They're gonna say goodbye, and then we're all gonna say goodbye. Come here. Oh, listen. Zoe said goodbye. Roxy's here. All right. Goodbye from the Vandenbergs, and we will see you all very soon. Goodbye. See ya. And say goodbye.